Okay. All right, guys. Where are you both at?
I'm sorry, what's that, Matt?
Where are you guys at right now?
I'm at home.
Nice.
Yeah,
How about
same.
you, Ryan?
Yep, at home.
Okay, cool. Awesome. 1 second. Oh. Cool. Awesome. All right, guys. So this is going to be a little interactive. If you guys are you guys at your computers, Ryan?
I am.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. One of the things that I want to do is actually go through what you guys are doing. So let's see. So what I guess which one of you has a um oh cool. Which one of you guys has a like a social media that you are trying to grow? I guess which one is it? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok?
Um, well, I have Instagram.
Hmm.
I have YouTube. I don't use, well, I don't have a YouTube account, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
I got Facebook though.
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I
So
think I got TikTok. I've been on there a couple of times, but
okay, okay.
mhm.
Oh, what's your name on Instagram?
And, it is, hold on, I don't use it that much, sorry. I think it's Tony 2.0. Let me check here. Sorry, Matt.
2.10. Okay.
Yeah, 2.10. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
2.10.
All right. So it looks like you're new on yeah, okay, you got a all right. So first thing, actually let's go back to basics. What do you guys both want to do? What made you want to jump on this call?
Ryan, you want to go first? It seems like
Yep.
I've been doing all the talking. I can go after Ryan. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So the main thing I want to do is start working on a new YouTube channel. So I don't have anything set up yet, but
Huh?
my future plan is to do that. So that's kind of
Okay.
the main focus I want to do. I do post a lot on Facebook, but I would be curious if were other better options than just, posting the house or, posting like, hey, we, close this, blah, blah, blah. If there's maybe more value that we can add to our Facebook posts to help people
Yeah.
out. I'd be really curious of like the sources that you use to find that value too. So like maybe there's like a website or something that we can, use as agents to predict interest rates or, just news in general for real estate that we can kind of post out there that adds value to like
Yeah.
our circle.
Yeah. No, these are great questions. Um, hey, Lyra. Yeah. So what we can do is let's talk about like quick, easy fixes to make sure you guys are getting some growth. And secondly, we'll talk about like what type of things you should be doing next to make sure that you are hitting the things that people will find most interesting. Now, first of all, I do want to say I do not consider myself a pro in any sense. I do think that I've done a good job for the average agent. But at the same time, like it's all relative, right? If you're in the space where you're like, I'm around a lot of big social people, and when I see what they do, it is like it feels like a lot to even try to like compete, and that's why I think it's good to know that you shouldn't be focused on competing, and
Mm.
that's my first tip I want to give. Like, it's not if you think it's a competition, it's already wrong because you are never gonna like think about the people you attracted in your best friends, your spouse. You attracted them because it's you. You're not going to get the same results as other people that are absolutely not you. Some of these, I do you guys do you guys watch Grant Cardone? Have you watched what he's been posting?
I have not.
I know who he is, but I don't know if it's a recent post that you're talking about.
Yeah. So he's a big real estate guy. He's like all about the 10x thing. But he leaned in the hardest possible way into the elections this year. And it was so spicy that he like completely recaptured a certain audience and he completely pushed away another. But because it was so, Trump versus Harris was such a big deal that and it's so polarizing that it actually grew. So sometimes, it's funny. I used to tell agents, especially when it came to elections, stay out of politics. Play the middle is what I used to say. But what I've learned is sometimes you just appeal to the base that you want and the base that is most in line with what you want as well. And like me, I like getting along with everybody. So you're never going to really see me go hard in any direction. And I think that because it's so polarizing, it's a little taboo. But some people are all about it. I tried to do a couple of videos where I took, pros and cons of both parties. I tried a video where I said, what Trump did in office, last term, and I tried to say, okay, based on that, I think the predictions would lead us to these similar results. Just what completely fact-based because I didn't really want to start crap. I knew it would start crap just by even sharing facts. But my point here is you can sometimes touch on taboo things while still playing the middle. And that's sometimes going to get you, traction and growth, but it's not necessarily like who you are either. So I was torn on how that went, but I guess if for you guys, is your goal more sales, just more social media awareness, more growth? You can see that there's different reasons to do things. Like the guy that I work with that helps me come up with some of my ideas and helps me film them, he always wants me to do the crazy jarring stuff, but I kind of hate it. I'd rather do more real estate related, but to his point, it is kind of boring. And if it is too common, it's not very interesting. Like, yeah, have you all seen those moments where people post, um, just sold, just sold, look at this house, look at this house. And before you know it, they have like 10 of their last posts are all house posts.
Mm, yes.
And what do you get? You get bored of seeing it. You're like, okay, I get it. You sell a lot of houses. Like it's not a good look because people, they call it social media fatigue, like where you just see something so often where you're just like, I don't even want to see this. I would do anything to see something different. So those are some of the things that you want to consider in what you're posting, which essentially requires variety. So we're going to hit on a lot of things. I know we're kind of a little bit all over. We're going to get back on track in a second. But one thing I want to tell you, just because, and I'm only picking on you because I have yours up first, okay? But Antonio, like if you want, I know that hasn't been a thought until today, probably, but if you want to grow on Instagram, you definitely need to go change from private to public. That's going to be the first big thing you got to do. I know you said you have more stuff going on Facebook. I think I've even seen you pop up on Facebook a few times. Um, yeah, this fight that just happened, the Tyson fight,
Mhm.
that's a big conversational piece right now. You could jump on that bandwagon and talk about what your thoughts were. Did any of you guys see that fight?
I saw it late. I didn't see the whole fight, just the aftermath. I went to go see Dave Chappelle last night and came back and watched the fight. So
Oh, he was in town?
yes, he was at the Fox. I think tonight too he's there as well.
Oh, all right. I gotta cancel plans and go. All right. Yeah, that was a better use of time, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Okay, cool. So off the bat, like, when I look at I'm just giving you like general feedback. Like you're starting to use it, you're starting to I think you got a good profile photo here. I think what you want to do though is just you want to start showing them what you're doing in business if you want to attract business. Right now, sometimes people will repost funny or like interesting looking things. And that's good. But if you constantly do reposting of other people's content, like
Mhm.
at some point you lose your identity too. So just
Oh,
keep that in mind, okay?
okay. So, question, Matt.
Uh-huh.
To do, I probably want to, if I go public, I'm thinking about just changing it to a more professional based versus what I have. I would have to change the whole profile, a new
No,
picture.
no, you just start putting out, the consistent vibe you want. If you have things on there that you don't really want,
Hmm.
um, then you can always just go delete or hide those things. and just do, some people call it like, pruning the tree, like just, you get back into what you've been building and you give it a fix up. Like if, one thing I need to fix is that my hacked original WSR account. I'm still trying to get Facebook to help me with that because they're putting some weird stuff up now. But I had to fix what was in here. Like in your intro, you want people to see very quickly and easy visuals what you are, what you do. So make sure that's in there. If you want to convey like likability or like community or trust, like be with people in some photos, maybe in your banner photo. It's still good to have just like a singular photo of you, I think overall when you're doing that kind of stuff. And when it comes to like your videos, your posts, your reels, whatever you're posting, like I don't really like it when I think every 4 to 5 property posts, I want something to have either a picture of real estate or something that kind of implies I'm doing something with a house, and by doing that, you might not know I'm immediately a real estate agent or broker, but you can see that clearly, like it's me on my profile. It's me sharing some stuff that I think are either funny or interesting or cool looking, and that's how you kind of create that community sense. And I think beyond that, that's just kind of my Facebook rant. Let's go back to the Instagram for a second. If we go back to Instagram, people are doing this. They're doing like you can make like when you use your stories, make sure you're using your stories too, because unlike Facebook, actually now Facebook's kind of doing what Instagram did. Facebook, Instagram was one of the first to have stories. Like when you just click through and you cycle through at the very top of when you land on that. And I think there's become a behavioral pattern where people don't really go to your page anymore. They go to like add you or maybe find a few other things that already interested them because you either popped up on the For You page or whatever, like the for, how do you say, what is it? Is it on, I think it's your homepage or whatever. So like if you're coming down, if you go to your main your general feed to search, and sometimes you find something kind of random, you go, oh, that's cool. I want to know more about that. And then you click on it. And once you click on it, then you see what they're about. Like this guy, Barstool Sports, he's talking about Tyson too. Like we're gonna see Tyson for the next couple days. There we go, more Tyson. It's going to be a lot of that, but like when you actually click, like, oh, speaking of Grant Cardone, here he is. You can see how he's all set up. He's got a bunch of followers. He's created really great thumbnail icons, so you can kind of, if you want to, rather than search through all of this and try to figure out what you want to find, this kind of helps you categorize what you're doing and how you're doing it. So like if I want to say, oh, what's this guy doing when it comes to his 10X event? I can click here. I want to know, oh, what kind of traveling does he do? Where, like, if I wanted to go and stalk this guy, I could find out, where do you travel? Like, what kind of things are you interested in? And I don't know, it's just I guess that's just an interesting factor or whatever. Yeah, there you go. So he's doing a lot of stuff, planes, helicopters, private jets. He's showing the lifestyle, and for some people that's extremely attractive to see. I don't really care. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, you got that, got it. But I want the stuff that's going to help me grow as an investor or a real estate professional. That's what I'm looking for, at least what I look for generally. So this is kind of just a quick little rundown of this. I think it's interesting to note though, on the TikTok side of life, TikTok has really blown up as an explainer searchable website. So like people used to go to YouTube when you wanted to learn something. Like, but if we wanted to say, like, so this is one thing I was looking at. I wanted to find out how can I build a garage for cheap, because I have to build one and they're not cheap. I'm getting quotes for like 30 grand. And so like this guy is claiming 17,000.
Like 35
So,
feet. That is a lot.
well, that's really loud on my side. But either way, like that guy's saying, okay, he can build a metal garage for $17,000. Now, when most people are getting quotes for 25 to 50,000 to build a 2-car garage, that's a pretty attractive thing. And what do you see? Like what's the first thing you see when you see that thumbnail? The thumbnail being the static image of this video. Ryan, I'm picking on you. I want to hear from you, buddy.
I don't know. The first thing I thought was 17,000.
17,000.
Is
And
that what you're
is
asking?
that a value to you, or is that interesting, or what do you think?
Well,
when
I
you
guess I mean you search cheap garage, so I mean if I was already searching that, that would be an interesting point, right? Because like
Yeah,
you got quotes at 30, and I'm searching cheap garages, so I want to figure out how this guy did it for 17.
exactly. And maybe you just nailed a better way to
I mean, might as well listen in and see what they have to say.
No, I'm talking about the hockey schedule.
Oh, hey, Larry. Okay, I can hear you. So okay, so to your point, Ryan, if you had, what do you said? Hey, are you getting quoted
No, they
35?
like it. It's
I
the
did it for 17. Like that could be a really
kids
cool
that-
way to attract people and create curiosity. So like you nailed it. The search element of what I was looking for came up with that. And of course, that's the first most intriguing thing that I could find. Like, I mean, this says priced at 10,000, but this is so much more eye-catching. You see how like priced at 10,000. Okay, oh, there's something priced at 10,000, but this literally begs the question because it writes the question, what can I get with a budget with a $17,000 budget? And that's a pretty cool way to put it.
Mm.
So what you want to be just mindful is like, how can you make it easy? Because people used to have an attention span of like 5 to 7 seconds. Now it's about 1 second. Like, think about how fast you scroll. Like, what are we doing? We're scrolling. We're just anything that catches our eye is maybe something I'll stop at. But nothing else actually sticks out to me the way that the first post stuck out to me for what I was looking for. What if I want to say how to grow social media by 10,000 followers. Let's see what comes up here. 10,000 followers in 10 days. I'm intrigued. This one says affirmations of social media growth on the actual thumbnail, but then it shows how I gained 10K followers this month. What do you think is more powerful? How the affirmations of social media, or if she had written how I gained 10K followers this month?
The 10K followers.
Right. So it's like when you're looking at stuff like that, you want to think about how you can do it differently or better to really visually capture them. I even think that actually I know about this guy. This guy's pretty good. But his white and red, it really like the general message is white and clean and crisp. And then the red just kind of like hits you with the key thing. She wrote 10,000 followers, 10 days. Like that would be all I need to know. It's short, sweet, it's to the point. It really works. So
do you think you can take these same principles and apply them across all social media? Like would we do the same thing for Facebook, for example? That we'd have to do. I know they're different, right? Like we have to capture attention with TikTok in a less amount of time. But do you think it's better or worse to try to do those same things on other platforms?
great question. I think right now, when you're in growth mode and trying to learn who your audience is, it's better to do all. So here's a tool that I use that's really helped me save energy and time. It's called repurpose.io. I think it's $25 a month. And what it does is when you put in, let me see, I think I'm logged in. When you put, let's say I upload a video to Instagram or TikTok. Let's say I upload one to TikTok. It immediately goes to Instagram. And once it goes to Instagram, it goes to my Instagram stories. And if it goes to TikTok, it goes to LinkedIn. If it goes to TikTok, it goes to YouTube. So by doing this, you got to understand, like, it takes an easy 5 minutes per site pretty much to get that same information out there. Now, on one hand, some people may say, hey, you're flooding your channels. But on the other hand, because I still consider myself relatively new in the space, I'm also learning where my avatar of interest is. Like some people on TikTok really like certain things that I put out. Some people on YouTube really like other things I put out. Some people on Instagram are very different because they are different categorically sets of people. Facebook, like who's on Facebook? It's like it's one of the first social media platforms. It is the oldest platform. So typically I do have my longest running friends and family on there that are interactive, and some people love it, some people hate it, right? And then TikTok is your biggest critic. There's no question about that. You'll get the hecklers and the trolls, but you know, the pro and the con of a heckler and a troll is the more they post and give you crap, the more you grow. So there's benefits to hecklers and trolls. So if you do have more taboo things or things that are like kind of controversial, or could be like for me, what I learned, one thing that was really initially kind of painful, I think, posting about my real estate portfolio. When I was posting that on TikTok, I got incredible amounts of hate. I got like threats of being beaten or killed because I was, you know, I'm stealing up all people's homes. And I was like, that's not quite an accurate depiction of things, unfortunately. But just to hear the amount of chaos and anger out of people that I don't even know, people are wishing ill on me because I invested in a property, was pretty wild. But it also tells you the incredibly vast variety of what the world is. Like there's people from every walks of life, different circumstances that will be mad at you just because, like, as we learned, the color of your skin, the religion you follow, like what's going on in Israel right now and the Gaza Strip, like there's Jewish people getting like beat downs all around the world because they're Jewish and they assume naturally they're pro-Israel. It's like that's the recent thing, right? Before then, it was there's been a lot of stuff on black versus white, right? Like whatever the case is, like there's so much chaos going, but some people will lean into that and they'll talk about their impressions and their thoughts on that. And sometimes because you are sharing your truth, and sometimes you might have a profound thought on that or perspective, people will follow that. But my point, going back to why you pick the different social medias, sometimes it's just to discover who and what you connect with most and where. Because if you find out by a landslide you're better off on YouTube, then just find out what they like about what you're doing on YouTube and stick there. So now I'm gonna hit on YouTube because I know Ryan, you've got one. What's your YouTube? Are you okay with us looking at it?
Well, I didn't make the real estate one yet, so.
That's okay. Do you want to talk about yours or no?
Well, I mean, I don't have a real estate YouTube channel yet, so.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you had a different one. Maybe not, huh?
Oh, I mean, I have a Star Wars card game one.
Are you okay with talking about it?
Yeah, if you want.
What's it?
It's called Ryan Plays Star Wars.
I like it. So, here's the funny thing. In a group, am I doing this all?
You might be searching your content.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, so I guess while you're looking it up, the reason I made it was so that I could learn YouTube and, you know, understand how YouTube works before I go ahead and try to do the real estate thing, because I figured this is kind of like a no pressure way to do it. I've been slowly building up my like equipment. So you'll see that I don't have any like face videos yet, but I didn't have like the proper setup. So I'm working on that now and having the correct background that kind of reflects who I am. So I like games and things like that. So my background is going to have different things like that, even for my real estate stuff, because I want people to connect with me that way. There's also other like benefits and like tax reasons, but I think that it's a good way and opportunity for people to, you know, listen to me talk, but also go, oh, hey, this guy likes this, right? Like I like that too. You know, I want to connect with this guy. I want somebody who's like real, you know, helping me with my real estate needs.
Brian, first of all, this is freaking epic. This is awesome. Like, it looks so quality. Like instantly, if I was playing it, I would probably be like, this is about as good as it gets. Is it a digital game?
Yeah, so well, the game is like they produce it. So like there's physical cards, but somebody has made a way to play online for free.
That's kind of cool, man. Okay, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it's only been around for like 2 months, so I'm actually pretty happy with how it's going. So we have 150 subscribers, and it actually slowed down a lot because I went on vacation and I stopped posting as much.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, so let's dive this. So you're almost at 2,000 views on this one. Well done. You got your chapters built into YouTube. Definitely is the step up in like overall, I guess, video maturity. Um, it's it's just a more advanced platform overall. So I think that's really cool. People, you mentioned Bill Burr. That's pretty clever.
He plays a Star Wars character, and there's a card of him.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So, but look, dude, I mean, if you bring this quality to real estate, you're going to be in such a good spot, man. This is really cool. I'm very impressed. And you're nailing these thumbnails. Like you're just nailing. I like how each one's unique, like, and it's easy to read. It looks kind of fun. So if you can somehow make real estate fun again, then you win.
Yeah.
So really good job. I think what's cool is you are an investor, you are an agent, you are a dad, and you are still you. And I think don't be afraid on your other channels to combine those. Now, since you have such, I understand why you might not want to post like a ton of these, but let's say, Ryan, let's say every post on your Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, as you mix it in, is like one of these. I think that's cool, man. And I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
anybody that likes you is gonna go or like probably like you more. And they'll be impressed with your professional approach on this. That's how I see this.
I
So
think I'm just too intimidated because, there's a lot of really good YouTube production out there. And so like it's hard to say, okay, now I'm ready. But I agree with you. I think, I can post like a maybe more friendly video of like, hey, this is what this game is and this is cool. You should play it. And then maybe I could post that first and then, every maybe month or two, maybe every month, just like, hey, here's a new video. If you're interested, it's a cool game, go check it out.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and what's cool is like, I mean, I think Instagram and TikTok has this now too. They have analytics that will give you a chance to kind of look in and see how deep in the weeds are people watching your videos. Like, so here's one that's kind of interesting. This is the first time I tried this. I want you guys to see this and tell me what you think. How do you open? Am I doing it wrong? Bam, there we go.
This might be the craziest house I've ever seen. So this house belongs to Todd Boehly, the guy who owns the Los Angeles Dodgers and Chelsea FC. So yeah, it's safe to say that this guy has a bit of money, $8.5 billion to be exact. Well, he just put up his Connecticut house on the market and it's insane. This 10,000 square foot mansion has 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, multiple pools, a basketball court, an indoor batting cage, and even a Dodgers theme park. All sitting on 9.5 acres. The only bad thing about it is that you have to live in Connecticut. But the crazy thing is that he paid just $3.5 million for this back in 2005, and now he's selling this thing for $19 million freaking dollars. So if you have almost $20 million laying around and want to live in the same house a billionaire once lived in, take a look at this house on Zillow. Let me know what you think about this. Is it over?
So you will not offend me, but I'm curious, what's your opinion on this video? Did it add value? Did it detract? Did it make you interested in seeing what other things I post? Like, you will not offend me. I would love to have your opinion on that video.
I think it's a really good video, Matt. From what I see is very detailed on that property. So it did draw me in of interest. Like, wow, and even not just because of that property, it might be a property I want that's similar or something like that, and then the location. So I think it's pretty good.
Okay, awesome. And did it create any interest in additional action for you? Or what would you do after you watch that video, what would you do?
If I had a property that was equivalent to that one, I would see, was it overpriced as well based on the style if it was in that certain area or region, you know.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Cool. No, I appreciate that. There's no wrong answer here. It's completely opinion based. And Ryan, like, what are your thoughts on this video? And does it make you feel like doing anything after?
So I guess I gotta be honest, I wasn't like super interested in the topic. So
That
um
is 100% fine. And I want that feedback. So knowing that it wasn't interesting, you would have scrolled by it, right?
yeah, so I think I think you do a good job at the introduction. Like it's very clear what it's about. So like it just wasn't, something that like I cared about. So I would probably scroll past after I learned what it is because the introduction is well done. It's very clear, it's popping. I know what it's about. And so if you're interested, I think you'd have people watch the rest of the video. I think just if you're not interested, you pop off at that point.
Yeah, no, and that makes perfect sense to me. Leary, I don't know if you're with us. You're on mute right now, but if you want to chime in too, I'd love to hear from you. But if not, that's fine. Uh, Ryan, I will say one thing that you might be impressed with is that was an AI voice. I didn't even say any of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess I didn't notice. So
Right. And that's kind of cool because we've been trying to test some AI things. So this is the first video we ever did where we wrote the script and then we gave it to the AI voice to match mine, and it created that. And then we had our video guy like overlay the images.
can you
So
play it again? So can we see?
yeah, now that you know that you're interested, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm just curious how close it actually is. I mean,
Yeah.
Price. This might be the craziest house I've ever seen. So this house belongs to Todd Boehly, the guy who owns the Los Angeles Dodgers.
interesting. So the thing I noted was that it sounded a little muffled, but I wouldn't be able to tell that it was an AI voice for sure.
yeah, it sounds just like you, Matt.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow, I'm
I
impressed.
was I was shocked. It's coming a long way, and it's funny because my marketing guy was like, "Hey, I want to do a video on this. I think it's good." And what he likes, the reason we did this video, I know it's not going to resonate with people in Michigan overall, like to Antonio's point, regionally, geographically. I don't even know if it makes sense. Ryan, I don't really care about other people's big expensive houses either. To your point, like it's just I just scroll. If it looks really cool, I'm good. I know what I need. I got what I needed just by like the first few photos. Okay, that's a cool house. I get it. Boom. And I don't care about this guy anyway. Like I just don't. But we tried it because we wanted to see what the national audience, maybe tagging Connecticut, would do, and it ended up being one of our better videos we've ever done in terms of the actual analytics, which was very interesting to see because it got 2.7, views, 2.700 views. And the actual percentage of watch time was almost 70%, that's not normal. Like, especially for this length of video, that's something I could care less about. But it did tell me for some people out there, this is an interest. And that was something that I definitely ate my words on because he was like, he said he thinks people are gonna appreciate it. I said I think it looks stupid, but fine, we can try it, especially if we're gonna try some cool new AI thing. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna do a few more videos and a combination of AI ones. I'm probably gonna say of these 5, which ones did I use AI for? And just kind of create kind of like can you guess which one's the AI video? And that could be I think that's just a fun thing because I think AI is an incredible trending topic right now. But beyond that, we actually kind of had we're having our best run right now. We're 985,000, 17, 2,000, 2,600, 2,700. This is the best run we've ever had on YouTube. So right now we're really trying to go in that lane. Like this one was me talking about my rehab. How I spent 12,000 to get trees removed from my property. And it was this stupid, basically. This was Dodgers. This is a wide range thing just to see if that would generate interest. Should you buy a house as an LLC or a person? This went back to business and real estate. This was real estate related. Was Trump in office, what do we expect for, that to bring? First of the month, walk with my daughter, just kicking off the first. Oh, every first of the month, guys, do a short 10-second little picture or video reel, just kind of putting out what your goal is. It's such an easy win. First of the month type of posts are really easy. And also it's kind of nice as an entrepreneur to just kind of go, what are my focuses this month? How did last month go? And just kind of sharing that in a 10-second clip with your friends and family can go better than you might expect. And then let's see. And I talked about selling. I sold one of my Corvette. And just kind of like, do I think it was worth it? And it was funny because it was the first time I had tracked my numbers from my ownership. Like this obviously had very little to do with real estate, but for the car culture, I wanted to see if car culture would buy in, right? And I actually got pretty good comments on, maybe it might have been on TikTok actually. Yeah. But when I did that video, I talked about my cost to buy it, my net dollars from selling it, and from my payments in conjunction with the pay down. And what it ended up costing me was about like 800 something bucks a month to have the Corvette, once you factor in resale, that like the actual sold value. And to me, to have a really fun, cool car for 800 bucks a month for a year and a half was worth it. Like, do I think it was, oh, it's totally, I got to do that again? No, I don't. Sometimes it's just about getting a little fun out of your system and calling it a day. But truthfully, like, if I do like fun cars, but I don't need to have a car that I store in the winter for 4 to 5 months and don't do anything with it. So to me, I would rather spend $1,000 for a fun weekend, go rent somebody else's fun car, and boom, I'm done, and I get it out of my system for probably the next 3 months. That's way cheaper than $800 a month at the end of the day, right? And it's like, it's in, it's out, but there are also tax benefits to this. So like, kind of talking about the ownership side of owning a fast car. Is it stupid? It's smart. How can you make it smarter? That was something that kind of came up. And that's what I did there. So all that being said, I did want to share this document with you guys. And I'm going to give this to you, of course. But the general tips are here. Like, I want you guys to really think about showing up authentically. Ryan, I know you very, very well. And you come off, very smart. You're fun. You got your own niche things, and you need to lean into that. Like, I think that's a really big deal for you. And if you aren't doing that, you're kind of like wasting your own time. I don't say that to be rude. I say that to really let you know. I think you've already shown incredible like promise, like with what you did here. Very impressed by this. Just run with this, dude. Like, show up on camera. Don't be afraid. I can send you a link to the camera I use if you want to use a camera like mine. It probably will cost you like $1,500 with everything, but like, it's up to you. And you don't necessarily need that high end of a camera anymore. And honestly, a lot of people do amazing things with iPhones. iPhones and a good microphone. I use the DJI microphone, which is like a little lapel one. It's digital and wireless. It's really good. You might already have that one.
Yeah, well, I have that one, and I actually just bought a really expensive studio microphone because I get noise from upstairs, so it funnels the noise right in front of me.
Yeah.
But I would be very interested in your camera because I don't mind spending the money to make it look more professional.
Yeah. No, you are doing too good of a job with the basics. I suck at thumbnails, so I'm very impressed that you did such a good job with that. I just don't take the energy to do that, but I should. DSL. So you see, it's and all the little mechanics for setting it up are also so annoying sometimes. Or
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good recommendation for like a stand or something like that too, because I've got a desk set up and I just gotta finish it up. I'm close. I'm ready to start making face videos as soon as I get it all. I'm gonna start with my iPhone, but I definitely don't mind something professional.
Yeah, and this one's pretty good. Yeah, are you gonna do horizontal or vertical view?
For my YouTube, it's gonna be horizontal, but I do want to post, on Facebook and maybe some shorts and stuff, but I might just end up using my phone for those.
That's all you really need, man. And I think
But for the
Um,
YouTube videos, I mean, I want, something professional, and it all feeds into the computer and, the interfaces and stuff. So,
yeah, yeah, totally. Oh, I'm just,
well, if you want to send me the link later, Matt, that's okay.
I will.
Just in
No,
case
that's,
the other
yeah.
people.
So I'll go back to this. Okay, so showing up authentically, Antonio. I think one thing that you can do, Leary, are you with us yet?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, good to see you
Hey.
or hear you. I definitely want to bring you into this conversation too. So Antonio, like, what are some of the things that are unique to you that you like to do?
Well, I love to travel. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I love music. Um, family, friends, hanging out.
And all of those are 100% relatable. So, like for you, the traveling thing, like that picture you have as your on your Facebook banner like image, like it
Yes.
looks like it's a cool place you've been. So it's like talking about that, putting up like it used to be weird to like just put a camera on you and like go talk to it in public, but now it's not. It's kind of normalized.
Mhm.
You, I would say, hey, I'm over here enjoying this, blah, blah, blah. I'm so glad I can do this. My job and this affords me the opportunity to do X, Y, and Z. And, if you're not out there getting getting the chance to travel and enjoy your time on this precious earth, then you might be missing out. This is your reminder, your daily reminder to get out there, travel and enjoy. And if you ever have questions about real estate, boom, hit me. Like that, those are some subtle ways where you connect on, like nobody goes, I don't think anybody ever goes, that guy's amazing at real estate. I can't wait to work with him. It's like, no, you go, like you could have 10 people that are great at real estate. How do you pick the one of the 10? And we all know I think there's like 18,000 real estate licenses in Michigan. What sets you apart from 18,000 agents with licenses? Like lean into your niche. You have to make yourself like as authentically you and interesting. Lyria's been Lyria's had quite a story. She's always been super kind. And I think you've always shown up very authentically on Facebook, especially about your family. And I think that that's one of those things that people really love about you. Do you have any other like niches or things that you like to do
Thank
that?
you.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, very similar. I mean, I love to travel, very family oriented. I'm still in that active phase of life of raising my kids, so I'm a big sports mom right now, with the kids and various sports and things like that. For me, I mean, I'm intrigued by, so I'm a little older than the majority of the people in our group here, but I still am intrigued and I love to use, social media and things like that. I think the problem, I've never dabbled in YouTube, so that's never been a venue for me. Like I go there and I seek information, but I've never been like a poster to it personally.
Mhm.
Um, what I have an issue with right now is in my real estate life, I'm not quite as active. I've been basically doing like just family and friend referrals. So my how should I say, just staying current and keeping up, like I'll have a stretch where I'll be like posting and think I'm making really cool graphics and things like that, and then it'll peter out and then I won't post anything for a long time. So that it's that consistency. I need to work on the consistency. So even when I'm inactive, I'm still sharing relatable information so people don't forget about me.
So that's a perfect lead into number 3, consistency over perfection.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I don't do twice a day. I try to go for 5 to 6 times a week. And that's I get exhausted doing it myself. Just being honest. Like it's not like I don't live for social media. And if I wasn't in sales and like still trying to grow portfolios and deals, I just wouldn't care. I'm not passionate enough about what I post to care. And sometimes that does come up. Like I think people can sniff that, going back to showing up authentically and content themes. Like some of the things that I try, like, you'll attract an audience that actually cares when you're talking about stuff that is in your lane. And sometimes, to like Ryan's point, we did that AI video, it wasn't a topic I cared about. That's why we didn't use me to do it, because I couldn't sell it. I couldn't sell that with my own voice. So we tried an AI voice, and honestly, it really helped because my actual voice, you would have heard how much I didn't care about that property or that guy. I just don't care. But it did get a good amount of growth, and sometimes you do things for growth. So, maybe in this one they're talking about like pick your 2 to 3 themes of your content. Maybe it's real estate, family, travel. That's fine. For me, it's usually almost always a real estate or business thing. Then it's an Airbnb thing. Then it's family or Great Danes or travel. Like that's kind of my third lane. It can be just something that's more about who I am as a person, my day to day. The first thing is about what I want, what I do as an entrepreneur, because like real estate and entrepreneurship are not exclusive necessarily, right? You could be an entrepreneur while not being in real estate, but so it's like you can kind of like divide and dissect what those are. Sometimes it's good to talk. Like I did one about using Chat GPT to get through a house inspection. That those things are freaking 100 pages. They're exhausting. And I just copy inspections over to Chat GPT and say, summarize this into the things that matter most, what's deferred maintenance and what's a real safety hazard. Outline those is what I tell it to do. Then I tell it, hey, now I want you to tell me an approximate cost to fix these using conservative numbers or a range of numbers from conservative to like worst case. So it's like by doing that, now I have a little snippet of text I can send my client, go, hey, here's the summary of what you needed out of this. Here's what we should talk about and identify, like, so we can get through this inspection a little bit faster. And I think that when you start to use those things and even talk about how you're just working your business a little bit differently, that can be interesting to some people. Some people won't care. Like if I tell people how I work on inspections to make it faster for me using Chat GPT, people that don't care about real estate and aren't real estate agents and aren't looking to buy a house, they are not going to care about that video no matter what I do. But it's still about finding which audiences work with what you're going for. And sometimes when it's not about that for you, it's about doing just what you love. If you do what you love, you will find your niche target if there are people that exist like that. And there almost always are, because the bulk of humanity has a lot of some shared interests. Even when they're bad reasons to be connected, it is what it is. Engage like your career depends on it. Like, I'm pretty sure I can ask any one of you, do you 5 days a week work on growing your business in real estate? It's probably not a yes. I don't even think I can say that I would be a yes. Can anybody say yes to that?
I cannot, to be honest with you, Matt, but to go
I get
to
it.
Leary's point, is it Leary?
Lyria.
Yes,
Lyria's point. I do communicate real estate to friends, family, or acquaintances at times. I'm not as aggressive as I probably need to be. I do offer help and as a agent relationship or client opportunities. But I know I need to go a little bit deeper as far as marketing myself.
Yeah.
So, but as far as like what you're saying, to market yourself every day, it has to become a habit, and then that habit becomes more opportunities. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where I'm at with it.
And you know what's really funny? Like this number 4, engage like your career depends on it, because it does. Like just replying. What is it? What are we actually saying? It's not necessarily a megaphone. It's a conversation. I think we forget this part. How can we create the conversation rather than just yell at people what we're about or what we're doing? Like I've totally been guilty of posting megaphone content. Totally, 100%. I think we all have. But if you create a reason to talk, like, or you go, hey, this is interesting, check this out, this is what happened to me. Have you guys ever experienced something like that? How'd you handle it? That's a conversation. Like if I just go, I'm rich, here's how rich I am, here's my Lamborghini, here's my $10 million house, like some people do. I'm like, cool, you're rich, I get it. But that's not relatable to me. In fact, it's so rich, I'm not even interested. When people are that well off, it's like, okay, I get it. Now, if it was one of you that became rich overnight, I'd be like, hell yeah, good for you guys. But if I don't know them from Adam, I don't really care. So whatever you're doing, think about how you can make your stuff more conversational. And these are the types of creators. Now, this is where you can kind of, maybe you guys will identify with one of these. Are you the entertainer, the educator, the storyteller? Like for me, there's a moment I wanted to be an entertainer, but I'm not good at it. I do think I tend to lean into education and storytelling because like I just did one about a Karen that was yelling at me about how I was cutting down trees. And she literally told me that I know you're gonna think I'm a Karen. She said that to me. I was like, enough said, lady. Like I get it. You're gonna be very annoying. I hear you. But in that moment when I posted it, I got so much positive reaction and support. And it was kind of not what I expected. I just thought it'd be a story people would laugh at and maybe be entertained by. Turned out my attempt to entertain was like more something that people felt education. Like, how'd you handle it? What'd you do next? Those were DMs I was getting. And it was very interesting. So I guess, Ryan, I'm curious, which one do you identify with?
I think for real estate, I would probably lean more into educator, but also try to do both the entertainer and storyteller. That would be my goal.
Yeah. And it's not like, Ryan, you technically, you're welcome to repurpose the crazy stories that you know about me with real estate too. And just go, hey, I was working with my buddy or my partner or whatever, and this is what happened. And can you believe, like, that's fine. That's so, or like, hey, I noticed this. And when working with as this or doing that, that's the stuff that people actually enjoy. I think a lot of buyers and sellers just want to be educated. Like when the NAR thing came out, so many were like asking me over and over again, do I have to pay you? Do I need to pay you? Who's gonna benefit? How am I gonna make sure you're doing a good job if I'm not paying you? Like there's so many questions that people were just going nuts over and misinformed, I guess, extractions of understanding that like I needed to do more videos on. I did a couple, but I should have done more. I did it more as a real estate broker talking to agents, but I should have done more as talking to clients. And Lyria, I guess for you, which one could you lean into here? What do you think would be your style?
I think I'm definitely probably more storyteller with the educator undertones, and I'm definitely need to work on the entertainment part because that's not me. I don't like being the center of attention.
You don't, but like even back when we used to work together at the place that shall not be named, um, that you always everybody loved you, everybody.
Oh,
So
thank you.
you always had like a kindness to you that everyone was like, you know what, she's great. No, how do you not like you? So I think you have a likability that's kind of exceptional, and you need to just lean into that because you could tell any story and people would probably listen to it and go, oh, that's even if it's good or
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
course. So another factor that I've learned about myself, this took me a long time to learn, is what kind of content person are you? What I've learned is I'm not good at short. I think you all know I can be pretty long-winded. And sometimes in that same vein, I learned that I do better on YouTube for those types of things. Like I don't get to the point sometimes fast enough, or my ADD gets me going, and I'm talking about all these things these 100 things that I find related to a single idea, and that can get me off base. So what I've been working with my editor guy on is I'm focusing on long term, and then I usually give him a long story, and then we try to cut it down from there, or we try to like, just make it a more concise story by cutting out the fat. So, and this is kind of is more of a Ryan thing here. If you're in a niche, I think you definitely are. What kind of enthusiast are you? Like, and I think by pulling in that, people are just gonna love. Some people are gonna find you quirky and nerdy, and I love that because I have my nerd things that I love. There's some games that I love, and I still don't put them down. So I'm with you on that, man. But it's like I actually respect I feel like it's brave in a sense. It's so stupid. It's like whatever, like it is who you are, and it's who I am. But it's like I feel like it would just seem like so unlikely for certain professionals to play games and still say they do that as adults, but it's like, it's actually kind of cool, and it gives somebody a safe space to relate. So it's actually, that's the power in it. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, it is something that, you know, I didn't want to really post about early on, but I think the more that I've done this, the more that I think it is relatable. And, you know, I think people understand that about me, that that's what they get, you know, and then just somehow, you know, twist it, make it relevant to them, you know, like, oh, all right, well, if he's good at that, like, maybe he'll put the same time and attention into, you know, my deal, make sure that, you know, I'm protecting them, you know, as a real estate agent, stuff like that. So I've been trying to think of good ways to kind of spin it to that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that one moment where you get that nutty client that says, they're not giving me enough attention. He's too busy playing his video games. Then it bites you in the butt.
I hope not. I mean, I've actually had a few old like card game buddies reach out to me on Facebook, and they ended up being good deals. So I've at least it's happened where, you know, the game stuff and just who I am has got me a few deals recently. So that's cool.
That is epic. So that's proof that you're getting ROI. Well done, dude. So getting more into the real estate vein here, trying to give you guys some ideas for things that will help you. And listen, you might think, oh my God, if we all post the same video, it's no good. No, that's absolutely incorrect. You might go and see a video, you might search around, and you might find something that did really well. I might go to TikTok because maybe I say I want to make a really good TikTok reel, and but I want to do one that's going to be so good and get a 500,000 views. So I'm going to look at this one that did a 500,000, 600,000 views, company 350K for a lot that may be unbuildable. Okay, that's what reasons do you think that this got 615,000 views?
Well, so I think that people are afraid of building. So I think they're maybe getting their fears justified, and they want to learn more about what not to do.
I think you're right, but I think there's this, like I was telling you guys about TikTok, I think there's also people that love to rub people's nose and shit. I really believe that that's a very big side of social media. So let's see.
Honey Levy and her husband reached out to invest in their Fort Lauderdale neighborhood after seeing a vacant lot for sale around the corner from their home. The real estate listing advertising the lot for new construction, built to suit residential. So Levy and her husband ended up buying the property for $350,000. Levy says the plan for this lot when they bought it was to develop 2 to 3 homes, but there was a problem, which she says no one ever told her about. This road used to get to the property is actually not public, meaning technically they don't have a way to access their own lot. That street belongs to the existing properties that line the narrow roadway. Bottom line, the lot is landlocked. The couple filed a lawsuit in February against the seller and real estate agent, alleging they failed to disclose critical limitations, specifically the lack of road access that would prevent development. The attorney representing both the seller and her agent told NBC6 Investigates they deny all claims made in the lawsuit. Levy shared several emails she sent to the city asking about the possibility of developing on the lot.
All right, I think we've seen enough. So I think that kind of hit on both of what we were talking about. And look at what we see in the comments. 350K for just land. Are they insane? There's the heckler I knew was coming. And what do hecklers love to do? They love to jump on board. 1,700 likes for this. So if you do want to grow on social, you have to, I don't know that you need thick skin, but you need to understand this is what you're going to get. You're going to get people who are going to call you stupid and call you names, because that is the world. We have a bunch of angry people that probably don't get it, because the truth is, depending what the after repair value of those two new buildings, if both of those properties are worth 1.5 million at the end, and let's say they cost 500 to build each one, so that's $1 million right there, plus let's just round up to 1.5 in total build cost, and they sell it for 3 million, it's a 1.5 net, right? At least gross net, right? So it's like, that's probably why. But this guy Jeremy with an A had to call them insane. And obviously he doesn't understand that real estate side of things in this area. And obviously whoever bought this didn't probably check the survey or confirm that that road was actually public use for the access. So whatever the case, this person actually sue for the easement. That's actually decent advice. Court should grant an easement. That's also probably likely. So it's like, you see how these things can go. But what I would say is redo this video. So one thing you can do with TikTok, I don't think you can do it on a desktop, but you can actually say, oh, I'm blanking on that word. It's like it's a repost. No, it's called a stitch. I think it's called a stitch. So you do a video where this video becomes a small part of your screen, and it's you looking at your screen, kind of reacting to it. It's a reaction style. And then it'll only show a quick snippet. And then you go, hey, I just watched this video. Here's the link to the whole video. But Channel 6 covered this video, covered this situation. I really feel bad for these people, but here's how they could have prevented losing $350,000. And then you can do a recap at the end. Now they probably didn't lose it. And I did a follow-up. It turns out they were able to get the easement. So while people were all, and you can even highlight Jeremy with an A and tag him. Jeremy with an A was busy being disrespectful. And now these guys actually ended up coming out with a win. And fast forward, I guess it was 8/16, so it's not that long ago. Maybe they started building and everything turned out fine. Maybe you can even do a, hey, this is what happened 3 months. God, 3 months ago. Jeez, this year is flying. And here's where we are at now. So like my point here is, you can use old people's content and make it and take a different viewpoint or stance and make it very interesting. I think that's something people forget to do. So hopefully that makes sense. Behind the scenes content. So the video I did where I talked about the Karen and cutting down 12,000 videos, this is behind the scenes content. Like Ryan, you could do a video about your card game, it might be cool. Actually, this would be cool because here's something that's actually happening. What's the one problem on this that you guys see? I mean, let me ask Leary and Antonio. What do you like and what don't you like about this?
I mean, I think, oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think I like the consistency, but I think the consistency and the colors and, you know, the overall template, but if there could be a little more variety, it would, you know, it kind of all, at quick glance, it could kind of just all look like it could possibly be the same message, you know, over and over, which I understand that it isn't and all that stuff, but just from a general public perspective.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. I know the content is different in each one, but it does look like the same. The colors I mean, it's definitely an attention grabber, you know, with the red and the yellow, the red background and the yellow writing in bold. But from a quick glance, I would think it would be the same subject matter unless I kind of hone in on the details underneath the caption.
I think that's really fair feedback. And Ryan, that's kind of what I was going to say. The problem is for me, now that I'm like, my initial reaction, because I knew how new this was, I had no idea what to expect. But what's missing for me, Ryan, is you. I don't see you in any of this. So I don't have a person to relate to. And I don't need you to be the biggest part of the icon. But man, if I know who I'm talking to, I'm like, oh, cool. That's the guy that I want to learn from. So don't forget, like, if you're going to teach people cool stuff, let them see who they're learning from.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, the face part is the next step. There's a lot of people who post like shock faces on, you know, game related videos, and it does work, but it's also kind of cringe. So I kind of steered away from that, but maybe I can, you know, still show my face and do that in a less, you know, aggressive way, maybe.
So, and yeah, and I'm actually with you on that. I actually hate some of that stuff. I've had to do, I didn't have to. My video guy was like, hey, take a couple photos like this. I'm like, I feel so stupid right now doing this. But you know about Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
So one thing he's doing, he does like this AI mock-up of his face. So it's like he's almost leaning into it's so weird and uncomfortable that it's actually kind of cool then, if that makes sense. It's like because he doesn't have a lot of ego, this guy, and I think that's probably what makes him so relatable. Like at least what did like look at all these he's got the weird cringe faces for sure, but they're not him though. There's something weird about the image which almost makes it like a little bit more interesting. And it's funny because like I hate when people post pictures with cars and stuff, but like, and I did one now too, so I guess I'm guilty of that too. Like guns in a yacht, like what is that about? Protect the yacht, keep it. Like, I mean, he does crazy stuff. He blows things up. I don't know. He does all kinds of crazy stuff, but I think that's something maybe if you are playing around with some kind of cool Fiverr guy that helps you out with thumbnails or using AI to like regenerate images in your likeness that just kind of give the element. Like some people, you got to start with like go find a digital mockup. You could go to Fiverr, ask it to create Mr. Beast like versions of you, or maybe even do goofier stuff. Ask him to do an anime Star Wars version of Orion. So it's an image, it's an avatar of you. It's not you, but it's a likeness of you, and that could
It's
be
a
a
cool
fun
idea,
cool thing.
for sure.
You like that?
I do. I'm gonna
Cool.
try it.
I would do that too. I like that, and guys, that's my nerd thing. I like anime. I'm a big fan. I think they got some great stories. They're motivational. Yep, that's right. I said it. So okay, here we go. So the behind the scenes ones, why it works. So, I'm not going to read everything off because it's kind of lame when you do that, but I know educational videos, 5 first-time homebuyer mistakes. Now, what to make it more critical to you? Talk about a mistake you made or what you missed. One not to bring up a sore spot, but I remember, was it Diana? Diana Lyria, she had that new build and it like started sinking. Do you remember that one?
Well, she had the new build, but no, hers wasn't sinking, thank God. But
Oh, was it? Okay, she called saying she's got an issue with it, and I was like,
oh well, it was the settling. Never having
Settling.
experience with a brand new build and things like that. It was like, wait a second, they're saying that it's settling. Does that mean it's sinking? So I think it was just it was
oh,
a
so it was an over exaggeration.
yeah, just a little, just a little.
Yeah, it's
First
not,
time home buyer. That's how these things go.
yeah, no, that's a really good point. Oh my God, what? So and that's a mistake I made as an agent. Is I remember when she told me that I just presumed it was sinking. I should have asked for clarity, and I think as a new agent I took things so literally. I didn't think to like troubleshoot their word choice. So that's even a learning point for me. Hey, as a new agent, I had clients telling me their client was sinking. That could be a video right there. And I was like, oh my God, that's terrible. We gotta sue them. It was just settling though. The difference of sinking and settling is that's something. How to spot a good deal as an investor. That's every investor wants this one. If you can find a deal anytime, you will always have business to make, period. Neighborhood tours. So some people just do like foodie type posts. I love food. I try to do I don't really do foodie posts anymore, but I'll do foodie story things. Cause like I said, I think a lot of people that are just looking for day-to-day check-ins or just kind of seeing what their friends and the people they like are doing, they look at stories more than your posts. So that's why stories are so valuable here. And I think that this is just an easy one. Just to get started, every day what did you do today? Do it. And some people like to do like the gym posts. I kind of hate them. I find those kind of cringe, but I also think it's good. It's like the people that are super in shape and just do it because they have nothing else going on. It bugs me. But the people that are like getting back in shape, I'm like, hell yeah, good for you. Isn't it funny once you climb the mountain, like you yell at them? But when they're trying to just get in a good way, I'm very big on rooting for people like that. I don't know. It's funny how that works. Personal stories, overcoming tricky sales, tricky issues. Oh, this was a conundrum. Like this happened, and then I didn't know. Check this. I actually have a cool one for you. I had a client. I should do a video on that one. I had a client that We had an appraisal gap. Seller was refusing to come down. Me and the agent put $3,000 of our commission up. I think it was something like that. So $6,000 toward the buyer to help with the appraisal gap, and he still had to come up with gap money. And then last second, the seller says, I'm not moving out right now, and he wanted an extension for post-close occupancy. And so we asked for an escrow holdback of like $5,000. And so the seller refused to. The agent was like, oh, he's gonna move out, don't worry about it. I was like, I said I'm not putting my client through that in the event that they don't move out. That's a bad position to put my client in. I can't do that. And she goes, I just know it. I promised you. I was like, I'll tell you what, if you're so certain, why don't you just hold back your commission? So she held back. So she took $3,000 of her commission toward closing costs, and then she held back $5,000. So she's out $8,000 on, I think it was like a $700,000 deal or something, which is a pretty good chunk to be out, $8,000. So what happens? There's other issues show up at the end of the post-close occupancy, like HVAC's not working, pool's not working. We asked for some concessions. But the issue is, who owes that money? If the escrow funds were from the selling agent, is it really fair that those funds come out of the selling agent commission? No, but those are what she put on the line. So yes. But for her, did it feel fair? Absolutely not. It was a very interesting, tricky deal. And that would actually be an interest. I think for agents, that might be an interest. If I just, I would have to sell that story more, but that'd be something that you could talk about. Trending content, we kind of just talked about that too. So we could even do real estate trending. So Sirhan, he's a big guy. Real estate agents go viral on TikTok. How to create content. So this guy got 258,000. This is simple stuff you can just search, and it kind of gives you an idea what the younger generations are probably most interested in. But I will say TikTok's age has risen tremendously. My mom's on TikTok now. Everybody's on TikTok. Well, a lot of people are. It's got a lot of good stuff on here. It's I really think compared to YouTube, it's the next best thing for search and like ease of access to learning, especially with really modern stuff. The thing, YouTube, a lot of people, they try to come out so polished that it takes them a while to get like new hot topics to market as fast as you would as TikTok. I think that's just a faster experience, I think. So let's go back to the document. TikTok about decision making, how to avoid real estate exhaustion. Yeah, we were talking about that already. Instead of flooding your feed. Yep. Pro tips for all platforms. Repurpose content across all the platforms. Talked about that. Engage your audience. Leverage trends strategically. Jump on trends early, but always tie them back to your niche. So that, if it's real estate, if it's Airbnb, if it's card games, if it's family or travel, try to go, hey, this is what I did. This is how it works. But here I am traveling and I don't care anyway. Like you can, that actually might be a funny one. All the crazy chaos and different opinions about Trump in office right now. Here's all the things that people are saying. Here's why it's good and bad. Here's the reality. But I don't care because I'm in Maui, and you guys need to let that go, because you could just be traveling, or you could spend all your time and energy, which is super precious, worrying about something you can't control. Like there's so many different. I'm not trying to be political here, by the way. I'm just giving an impression of something that is kind of taboo and trending, but also a way to tie it back to your thing. So real estate agents, here's maybe a potential content plan: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Sunday. Engagement post, maybe a poll, Q&A, and ask me anything. Let me teach you something today. Maybe you're at your backyard barbecue spot, and you're kind of showing a listing photo that's pretty cool that you're trying to sell. Behind the scenes content, day in the life of a realtor. What are you doing? It's Friday. I'm looking to relax, but I'm leaving my 9 to 5 to go do my Saturday to Sunday job as a realtor. And here's how that looks when you're working two jobs simultaneously. I'm leaving my engineering job to go show houses, and I'll be out until 9 p.m. because I'm at an inspection. Thursday, neighborhood highlights. Maybe you go out and grab a bite with your spouse, and here's a really good one we found. Oh, we went here. I've heard so many great things, but honestly, I wasn't impressed, and here's why. Some people like to know, like, as much as people like to find great places, sometimes people just want to know, hey, did that place suck or not? And sometimes I love it. I love a hard review these days. I don't want to hear you go, oh my God, it was so great. Like, because it usually isn't. I go there, and go, yeah, it's absolutely fine. It's fine. That's all it will ever be. I'm bored. Personal story, and we're just talking about, you could also talk about just favorite closing or favorite client, why they were your favorite, funny TikTok, what buyers really want in a house, or funny, just anything funny that happened over the weekend could work too. 5 tips for selling your home faster. Where do you get the most value for rehabbing a house? It's typically the kitchen, then the bathroom. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I know it actually went over a lot longer than I thought, but how was that? Was that pretty helpful, I hope?
Absolutely, Matt. I appreciate that. A lot of points that I had wrote down as far as questions and stuff has been answered. But this is value add, definitely. And where can we find this sheet right here?
I'm
Mhm.
putting it right now for in the WSR group chat.
Okay.
To social media. Cool.
And it was
Awesome.
another platform that you showed. I had wrote down part of it. It was repurpose something.
Repurpose.io.
Oh, repurpose.io.
Yep, it's this one.
Yes, that one right there.
This
So
one's
that
really
shows the
cool.
link with different platforms to the left.
Yes. For automatically posting content to all socials. Oh, there we go. It's in the document now too.
So basically, as far as what platform we choose, um, it's up to us. Like I know you say TikTok is the biggest, and YouTube is a little bit more advanced platform wise.
Oh, let me clarify. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the biggest, it's probably the fastest growing.
That's
And it is probably one of the biggest worldwide. But I think YouTube is forever probably going to be the biggest. And you know, it's funny because as a point of clarity, there's a difference between what was social media and video hosting. YouTube was video hosting. Facebook was only social media, like talking about Facebook statuses and posting pictures of your friends.
Mhm.
Now there's a massive blur about community and videos and all of that. Like pretty much the most entertaining thing wins. YouTube started as video posting. Now it is kind of a social media. Facebook was not a video hosting platform, and now it kind of is. Instagram was more than statuses, was mostly focused on pictures. TikTok was 100% focused on reels and video. So now they've all done different things. And I don't know if you remember, Snapchat was all stories. And that's why once Snapchat was all stories, then it turned into Instagram was doing stories. And now Facebook is doing stories. Now YouTube is doing stories. So they're all become this super blend. So that's kind of the argument I use to say, if you're really just trying to grow yourself and your reach because you want to build your brand, and I think building a brand as an entrepreneur is absolutely essential, then you have to be hitting all of those. Like Ryan, an easy win for you will be repurpose.io. Just throw it out, let everybody see it. Like be naked, and before you know it, I'm not like before you know it, you're just comfortable being naked. You're just not trying to be weird, but it's true. It's like you just go, oh, here I am. That's it. Now you've seen it. You kind of rip the band-aid. Here I am. Once it's done, people get you, people can work with you. People either love you or they hate you. And the truth is, most people have already made that decision about you anyway. I've had friends from high school that I thought didn't even like me. And I got a message this week saying, dude, we graduated together. This guy, Chris, he goes, I've been following you for the last like couple years. And I know we didn't really talk much since high school, but I'm just so impressed. And it was so nice to hear. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, he's like, now I'm becoming a real estate agent because you've inspired me. You show me that with the right grit and determination, I can get there too. And I'm quitting my W-2 because you give me all these other entrepreneurial tips. And the point is that here's another deep point. sometimes you don't even know who you're relating to because people aren't giving you feedback. They aren't talking to you. They aren't even liking your stuff. They aren't posting or any, they don't say a word. But years later, they go, I love that video you did 3 years ago or 6 months ago. And you realize, oh my God, that was actually valuable to you. I had no idea. I wish you would have let me know. But that's the need for you to be consistent. And I think just like all of us show up every day, we walk outside, we meet people, we shake hands, we kiss babies. We're doing that anyway. The only actual difference, if you are showing up as authentically yourself online, is you're just doing it in video and picture format. That is the only actual difference. And if you're afraid to leave your house, then it makes sense that you wouldn't do social media. If you think you are just so unenjoyable that nobody could possibly get along with you, then you're right. You're probably right, because you've already made that decision in your head. Now, if in reality you have friends, you have interests that people relate to, then quit making your sharing your interests, sharing your face, sharing what you want to grow with or like help people with in the future. Like, just say, this is what I want to do. And if you don't like me, then fine. And if there's one thing that I think people have come to realize is the polarization can be very helpful. And polarization can be as simple as, if you don't like me, fine. But this is who I am. I know I'm a good person. I'm trying to do the right things. And here are my interests. Here's what I'm doing today. And I hope that worked for you. I've actually been asked by like some people, like, I would love to see what you do. Like, I know you work out, like, why don't you post more about workout stuff? And I find that in, like, I know it's like, I kind of like I was hinting earlier, people like, I think it's kind of weird when people constantly, like, it's because I have a preconceived notion that a lot of my friends that are big workout junkies, like, I feel like that's all they do. And I don't want to come off like that guy that's like, all I do is work out, because that's not true. I have a lot of other things, but I think I should push myself on is showing that, hey, health and like longevity are a thing to me. Those do matter to me. And I need to get out of my own head. This is something I still struggle with is like, I don't want that judgment, but I'm like, you know what? I'm already being judged in so many other ways because all the stuff I put out that's good, bad, and ugly. Like Ryan said, my video, like, for him was not of interest. That doesn't offend me, because it wasn't even a video I was passionate about, that one that we showed today. But there are other videos I've done where people go, dude, that was great. That was helpful. I loved your honest take on that. And if there's one thing you leave today doing, take the action, take the steps. You're already showing up as a human every day anyway. Just go do it on social. Cool. Any other last things? Otherwise, we're all set.
Thank you
Just
so much
thanks,
for
Matt.
holding this
Thanks
up.
for
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
information.
appreciate it, Matt.
Of course. It was
So
good
much.
catching up with you guys too. And if you guys have more questions, we can do that. But I'm also happy if maybe we should do a follow-up on this in a month or two and just kind of see where everybody's at. Kind of hold each other accountable. In fact, actually, let's do that. Let's all promise to post something this weekend and share that link in the chat. Say, hey, this is what I took from the call. This is what I'm going to try and do. And just post it. Say, here's what I'm trying to do. And let's give each other some positive feedback to kind of like spur each other along to kind of be that authentic self. Okay.
Okay, hey, Matt, question. What link do we post this so we all connected? What
You can do it in the group chat, because the truth is, like, our WSR group chat, like, because I think it's healthy. If you're an agent and you're not focused on social media and your brand right now, you can't be an agent in the future. Think about all the agents that are coming out right now. You will not be able to compete with the people that started with social media at 1 year old. Like, you won't. You have to set the tone. And that's a big change for some of us, right? Like, it's been like I told you in the beginning, like, this is not my favorite thing to do, but I know I had to do it. And I want to thank Ryan too for even asking the question, because he pushed me to do this. And I don't feel like I'm the expert. Yes, I have a good amount of at-bats and experience, but honestly, I'm watching Ryan shoot up on his YouTube. He's gonna blow past me pretty soon, because he's doing something he's passionate about, and he's doing a beautiful job, and it's gonna get only better because he's taking the feedback, right? But in that same vein, if we're gonna keep posting, whether it's our quirky thing, our real estate thing, or our family thing, find a way to tie it back to what you want out of life. If you want more brand, more followers, more people to just kind of communicate and have a circle around, or do you want more real estate sales? What if, as long as it's one of those two things, make that post this weekend, share it in the chat, and let's salute each other, because I think that that's the best way to do it. You don't grow by not creating accountability and pushing yourself. So we have to do it.
Okay, I'm looking right now. Which chat group? The one that we're on. Mhm.
Yep, the one we were talking on. And I just posted that link to the actual guide within the same questions welcome chat.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Yes.
Hey, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yeah, I'll see you. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Matt. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye,
Take
everyone.
care, bye.
Bye all.